If you want to start every lift with better posture and alignment, you need to watch this video right now. Everyone in the gym loves to squat, deadlift, and split squat. Okay, let's be real. Nobody likes to split squat, myself included, but that doesn't mean they're not important and we shouldn't be doing them. But here's the thing, with a lot of these activities, technique breaks down before the lift even starts. You're probably curious, you're thinking, what do you mean by that? Most people, when they squat, deadlift, and split squat, actually don't start in the right position. Their setup is flawed because they're not stacking their system. So when I'm talking about stacking the system, what I mean is we want to have this really nice position between our rib cage, our pelvis, and our hips. We want to get things stacked. When we do that, we're in the best alignment to not only increase the loads that we move, but to be more efficient in our movement. It's going to put less stress and less strain on our body. So if you're interested in learning more, before we go any further, take 2 seconds out of your day, like this video, subscribe to the channel so you know each and every week when a new video drops. Now, let's get in the gym, let's stack the system, and lock in these squats, deadlifts, and split squats. Let's start with stacking your system in the squat. So I got my guy G here because it's easier if I coach, he does the activity. So one of the biggest things you're gonna see is when people get this really big arch before they squat. So if you want to stack your system, you don't want to be set up in this position. You want to soften the knees. When you soften the knees, you can see his back relaxes. He's got this stack top to bottom, and that's going to allow him to sit down into his squat. Smooth and buttery, right? Now, a second potential issue you might see is what we would call butt clenching or butt squeezing, okay? So you'll see these clients where they really squeeze everything, they drive their hips and their pelvis forward, and it puts a ton of pressure on their back and on their glutes. So what you want to do instead with these people is scissor. So I'm going to push G's shoulders forward. I'm going to bring his hips and pelvis back. I'm going to do my best to get him stacked. He's a little bit exaggerated now. And then he's going to sit down into this squat. Okay? So every time you want to make sure that they're scissored, they're stacked, and they can sit straight down into that squat. Now let's stack the system in our deadlift. Really common issue here again is when people set up for the deadlift, they arch really hard. So get too much arch here, you're gonna put a lot of pressure on your back. So instead what I want G to do, he's gonna stand up, he's gonna soften those knees just a little bit. He's gonna reach long in front as he pushes his hips back. You can see now he's got a really long spine position. He's gonna grab the bar, and then from here, he is just going to push through the floor and stand up. So again, reaching long, getting that spine long will take pressure off your back. So that's one potential issue. A second issue is when people start at the top. So go ahead, yep. The same action where they get that same butt squeeze at the top. So what I want G to do now, go ahead and come down, G. And at the top, all I want you to do, go ahead, set it down. When you push up this time, I want you to stop when you can't push anymore. Okay, so when he can't push anymore, that's where the lift stops. And this is really important because a lot of times people don't think the lift is over until they squeeze at the top. And again, it puts a lot of pressure on your back, on your hips, and it's not the way you want to set up for your next rep. Okay, last but not least, we got everybody's favorite lift, the split squat. Now, again, same two issues that we're gonna see time and again. The first one is dumping the pelvis forward. And when you're gonna see this the most is if G would extend this back leg. You're gonna see his pelvis dump forward. So what I want G to do here is soften both knees. So it's a little bit different or a little bit counterintuitive, but he's gonna keep those knees soft. And when he can't push anymore through that front heel, that's where he's gonna stop the lift. So soft knees at the start, feel that heel throughout, and when you can't push through the heel, that's when the lift stops. So that's mistake number one. The second mistake, again, is just dumping that pelvis forward or really trying to squeeze forward, and that's where your scissor cue comes in. So just bring their hips back gently, push the shoulders forward so he's nice and stacked. He's gonna drop straight down, and then just make sure at the top, they're not pushing too far forward. All right, my friends, so just remember, stacking the system is a critical piece of the puzzle. If you get your setup right, it's gonna be that much easier to do all of your lifts with great technique. Now, before you leave, I got 2 videos. One, if you want to learn more about squatting or some of my favorite beginner squat variations, watch this video. If you're struggling with a deadlift and you want to find out 5 of my biggest deadlift mistakes, watch this video. I guarantee it'll make a difference.